Hello students, in the last class we learnt about the earth and the globe, the angular distance, parallels of latitudes and the equator. So now let's move forward with the chapter. The first thing we are going to learn is about the prime meridian. Now that is another line, which is the prime meridian. Now even the prime meridian divides the earth into two equal parts. As we learned before, the equator divides the earth into two equal parts. The same way, the prime meridian also divides the earth into two equal parts. But now, so what is the difference between them? Well, the equator divides the earth horizontally, that is sleeping, while prime meridian divides the earth vertically, that is standing. So that is the difference between these two lines, but they both divide the earth into two equal parts, which gives us two important parts of the earth. Now let us see what they are. We move to the next slide. They are hemispheres. So the prime meridian divides the earth vertically. So by dividing the earth vertically, what it does is it gives us two hemisphere, that is the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. Now see in the first picture, we can see that the prime meridian divides the earth vertically, that is into the western hemisphere and in the eastern hemisphere. Now look at the picture. The picture on the left is of the western hemisphere, and the picture on the right we can see is that is of the eastern hemisphere. Now we can also see the north pole and the south pole, as you can see in the picture. Now children, where is India located? India is located in which hemisphere? Right, India is located in the eastern hemisphere. We'll move forward to the next slide. Now, what does the equator does? Okay, we'll see that. Now, what does the equator does? Well, the equator divides the earth into two equal parts horizontally, that is sleeping. So, which are the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere? Now, the picture on the left, that is the northern hemisphere, and the picture on the right is the southern hemisphere. And it also has the poles, that are the north poles and the south pole. We'll move to the next slide. That is meridians of longitude. Now, another important line is the longitude. How are longitude drawn? Well, this is the prime meridian. First, you have to take prime meridian as the base. And taking the prime meridians as base, that is from the down, that is 0 degree. We have drawn a number of lines on the planet Earth. Okay, we have now taking prime meridians as the base. We have drawn number of lines. Now, what you have to see is only the standing line. So they all we have drawn a number of lines on the planet Earth. So they all start at the poles and end at the poles. They start from the poles, that is North Pole, South Pole. So all these lines and these are the longitude. All these standing lines are called longitude. So they are also numbered. As we have seen, latitudes are also numbered, longitude also are numbered, but they are numbered in a different way. So they are also numbered very similarly to latitudes, but they start from the prime meridian. So prime meridian being 0 on the eastern side, the number is 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 and 180. And here it is 0, minus 30, minus 60, minus 90, minus 120, minus 150 and minus 180. So always in the western side it will be in negative numbers, and in the eastern side it will be in the positive numbers. So all these lines are drawn with prime meridians as the base, so they are called as meridians of longitude. We'll move to the next slide. That is distance between parallels and meridians. Parallels of latitudes divide the globe crosswise into rings. As I told you, latitudes are sleeping lines, so they divide the globe crosswise, that is so is in the circular shape but sleeping ways. Meridians of longitude divides the globe from pole to pole, that means from north pole to south pole, that is standing ways. So the parallels and the meridians intersect each other at right angles. The network of parallels and meridians, the network means all these lines together on a globe, is called the Earth's grid. Now, when you see all these lines together, they form like a grid. That is called the Earth's grid. We'll move to the next slide. That is the graticule. Now, what is a graticule? The net formed by parallels of latitudes and the meridians of longitudes. That means parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitude. All these lines together is known as the graticule. As you can see, all these lines together, they are called as graticule. Now, the graticule helps in determining the location of a place on the earth, and every point on this grid is one location. Now can you see there are two red dots? Now each point of this form one location. So whenever you want to locate something or somebody, we actually find the location of that person or that thing on this grid. So every line which joins that point is called as one location. We'll move to the next slide. That's your homework. Your homework is you have to find the answers of these questions. The first one is the net formed by the parallels of latitudes and the meridians of the longitude is known as dash. And the second question is what are longitude? That's all for now. Your chapter ends over here. Okay. We will learn the next chapter in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.